How do you stop an MVP player in the NBA? The Warriors are playing against Nikola Jokic tonight in Denver. It would be a very challenged game where the Warriors need to win to stop the bleeding. They are coming from 4 losses in a row, and things can get even worse tonight if they don't win. And it's going to be very challenging. So the Warriors are playing Denver, 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's an NBA Cup game, and for sure, Denver Nuggets will come with all the power that they can because they still have a shot in the NBA Cup. They still can get a wild card position. The Warriors already secured their spot, but it's important this game tonight for us because we need to stop this sequence of losses. We need to get things back on track, and more important, as I said in the last video, we need to figure it out things on how we move forward now that we lost Anthony Melton. We're still trying to find who will be our backcourt together with Stephen Curry. So it's an important game for us. And looking at the injury reports, it could get even worse for us. Now, Draymond Green is listed as questionable. We know how Draymond has this capability and the skills to defend different positions. He obviously multiple times would be the guy locking on Nikola Jokic. He has done the same with Zion. I know different players, different skill sets, but also we're talking here about Nikola Jokic exploring what has been one of the weak spots for the Golden State Warriors, right? Size, a tall guy that is strong and has skills as well, right? For many, we're going to see the numbers. Jokic is having one of the best seasons of his career. Remember, he's already a 3 times MVP. He won 3 out of the 4 last MVP awards. And he's playing a really high level, despite Denver not being as good in the standings right now as they have been in previous years. They are 9 in the West. Nikola is really leading that team as he always has done, but even more, is scoring almost 30 points, double digit. He's basically averaging a triple double right now. So it's going to be a very challenging game for the Warriors, especially if Draymond Green is not playing. So let's look what we have to do, right? But take a look on how this historically has been a disadvantage for the Warriors. The Warriors have lost 11 out of the last 12 regular games, the matchups. The last time that we won was in 2020, and you can see here that the lineup for the Warriors are very different. One interesting thing about that game, Draymond Green was injured, and he lost that game, which could happen again last night. If you're a person that likes coincidence, there is one for you to feel hopeful. By the way, don't forget to subscribe. A lot of you are coming here. I see you're appreciating, liking the video, watching it. Please don't forget to subscribe for the channel. You see and you keep updated with the Warriors news, my comments here, and on and off. I also release some highlights and videos that you can find in the channel about different players. So this is the numbers that Nikola Jokic is putting right now. You can see how it's challenging. He's leading the team in almost everything for the Denver Nuggets. So almost 30 points, over 13 rebounds. Despite that, I want to emphasize that the Warriors have a higher number, are averaging right now a higher number of rebounds than the Denver Nuggets. And that's one of the points that's going to be very important for us, the second point chance and the shooting as well. He's also leading the team's assists. So he's averaging, as you can see here, and as I said, a triple-double, a massive effort from him so far. So what the Warriors need to do, first of all, we're going to need to shoot better. When you look, these are the last 4 games, our 4 losses that we had, right? The Warriors are really poor shooting, both from the 3-point range as from field goals, right? We need to improve that. And if we don't make it, it's obviously we're not going to win, but also because we're not going to, it's going to be a tight game where the Denver Nuggets will explore Jokic. The Denver Nuggets has a particular thing that they haven't, they have a much smaller rotation than the Warriors right now. So we have to explore that. Despite, I know Stephen Curry was out there saying that the Warriors needs to get more predictable. I agree with that, but I think having the extra guys that can come there and play will allow us to put energy. So energy, the defense, like locking in, doubling on guys, and using the fact that the Warriors have a more depth in their roster will be point number 1. The shooting, as I show here in the screen, it needs to be improved for this game and for anyone. The Warriors are really poor shooting right now, and we need to improve that if we want to win. And then the last is that we're gonna need to count a lot on Kevin Looney, right? Especially if Draymond is not playing. Kevin Looney is gonna have a massive role in the game tonight, and he has done that. He has locked on Jokic in the past, and he's capable of putting that energy. Obviously, he doesn't have the skill sets that Jokic. I'm not comparing both of them, but he's a strong guy, and I would expect to see a lot more from him than from Tracy Jackson because of this defense part. So I think he's gonna be another important piece, keeping controlling on those foul numbers and making sure that he can lock and like reality with Jokic and any MVP, and that happens with Steph as well for the defense when they're playing against us. You don't stop that night. It could rarely happen on and off, like really, really rarely. But usually you just slow those guys down, right? So you make them have a poor shooting night. You make them contour to those 20 points, like 18 points. You're not going to completely shut down those guys to the point that they won't play, they will get benched. That's unlikely to happen. But you slow them down, you make their life difficult, you make them pass the ball more. Obviously, you are playing against Denver. You want to make sure that the ball gets out of his hand, right? You get for other people to shoot. Let's not forget that Denver is still a dangerous team. They have Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, um, Westbrook is leading the second unit. Aaron Gordon, that is actually questionable, but his play is dangerous as well. So the Warriors still have to pay attention on that, but make sure that we get the ball out of Jokic's hands and pay attention to his 3-point shooting because he's actually averaging 50% from the 3-point line. As said, like he's having one of the best seasons of his career. So the Warriors need to pay attention in these points. We're going to need a lot of effort from Looney. We're going to have to shoot well, and we're going to need to use the depth of our roster because especially against the Denver Nuggets, they don't have the same depth and not even close to that. So we have extra guys that can come, put effort, and make their life very difficult. And then last, as a bonus, I want to see more of Stephen Curry, right? He needs to play more. Steve Kerr needs to allow him to stay more in the field, but he also needs to come strong from end to end. Like last game, he had a really poor first half that set the tone for the Phoenix Suns. They were always leading. I want to see him taking the lead, leading that first half, leading that second half. Like, we know how clutch he is, but we also need to make sure we set the tone of the game from the beginning. So that's what the Warriors need to do. Leave in the comments your opinion. I hope you have a great game tonight.